X. So if you have to imagine Express.js in 10 years, what it will be, how it will change the world, how people will talk about Express.js in 10 years. And this is the vision. So the mission is what I'm doing right now to reach that vision in the future. The exercise is in two parts. The first part, each participant individually is going to write down on post-it. You just can copy and paste or create new here. The future dream scenarios. You have some example here. And then we're going to have a group discussion about it. So what's going to happen now? I'm going to put a timer, a 5-minute timer. You can turn off your mic and your camera, and we will see in 5 minutes.
You're muted. You're muted still, Angela. On
Sorry.
Zoom.
Time's up. Yeah, time's up for writing, and we can. If you want to write something more, it's okay. But maybe it's better if we start with the group discussion. And so the goal now is to have a single share vision. So let's start reading. To consolidate Express as the default option by Node.js developer because the feature and performance that we offer, okay? So become the go-to solution. A world where we have a sustainable middleware plugin ecosystem is possible through the leadership and support from the Express core team. Okay. Do you want maybe to explain this? I don't know who wrote this one.
I wrote that one. Yeah, we have like there is a lot of middleware that plugins and stuff that people build on top of Express. So you can use, I don't know, JSON Web Tokens or connect to databases, stuff like that, that normally are in the same situation as Express was in the past, like in terms of maintenance and support and so on. So the idea is from us to help them and build an ecosystem where they can, have some support from us directly and making that more sustainable.
Okay. Thanks. Wait, I'm gonna share my screen so everyone can see what I'm seeing. A world where companies that depends on us are engaged in maintaining the ecosystem actively in many ways. Okay. To make Node.js the easiest way to create a web server by providing a simple and elegant framework for working with HTTP. Enabling developers of all levels to create a reliable and maintainable web application using Node.js through a minimal and opinionated framework. Okay. To be the backbone of performance scalable production system written in Node.js. Okay, clear. Another thing that we should start making maybe now is clustering similar post-it. For me, it's a bit difficult. Thank you. Okay. Where were we? A world where writing server in Node.js is one of the best-in-class options through great UX performances and support. Okay. I'm lost. Okay. To have a sustainable group of maintainers for Express by having programs and processes that to onboard, train, and support maintainers. No, this is not similar to this group, right? Because this is to become the go-to solution. This is
Yep.
to have a
Different
great.
focus.
Okay. Is it related to this one maybe?
I think it's different. I mean, I wrote the one that we're talking about. I didn't write that one. But yeah, that one was the one I wrote here was specifically an internal facing one,
Okay.
which I think everything else is external, like how the,
Okay.
it is in the world. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I think they're all great. And some, I mean, we need now to decide which cluster will compose the vision, and maybe the other can be the pillars of the brand. So it doesn't mean that we're not going to use the like, for example, this one that is alone as just an example, but it can become a pillar. So maybe now we can do another dot voting. I'm gonna give you 2 votes each and 1 minute, and you have to vote a cluster.
Can you restate what we're voting for specifically?
Sorry? The cluster that then we need to discuss that will become the vision, because now we have this cluster here, this one, and this. I think to start the conversation, it's easier to first we vote which one we need to discuss. Otherwise, if we have to discuss each cluster, it's gonna take more time. Is it clear?
Yep. Yeah.
Cool. So start a new vote. Wait. Timer. Sorry, 1 minute.
And sorry, are we voting for groups or individual stickies?
Groups. You can also choose an individual stickers if you have a very strong preferences. Thumbs up and for all. Okay. I think we are the first cluster is the winner here. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So this is the winner, and now the goal is to have the final version of this cluster. We have around 5 minutes left for this exercise. Of course, we can take more time if you feel that we need more time. But yeah, who wants to start discussing? Like if you vote for like Ulysses, that you vote for this particular class post-it. If you want to elaborate why, what do you like about this one? If you wrote it, I don't know, sorry.
Yeah, I was actually the one writing that. So yeah, I will say like one of the challenges that we have as Express is like historically we have been the most popular framework, but over the years other frameworks came and they have like a much better feature than us. Like Fastify, for example, is faster than us and stuff like that. So like more specific. Now the feeling is like we are very popular because of we have been very popular in the past, not because maybe it's the best option to go now. So the idea is to change that to be the go-to option. So in general lines and become like more relevant again on the future of the ecosystem. So that's for me more or less the meaning of the cluster.
Okay.
Yeah, are we meant to be discussing our vision or why we picked why we like the things in this cluster?
This cluster mostly.
Okay, yeah.
Because is the one with most votes. So I think we should.
But we're just talking about the cluster together right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So basically, I mean, I wrote the ones in blue, and I think that we almost have we kind of have a tagline now, which is like minimal, unopinionated framework. Basically, that's what Express has been forever. It's kind of like our guiding principle still, but and rather that's where we are now. Like we're still considered a minimal like go-to default pick for the ecosystem. We're one of the default picks in general for people often choose to use something else besides Express, and they have many reasons for why they do that. And then people have all the reasons for why they pick Express, which is, what we've listed here essentially is that it is, we're a backbone of our particular industry and our particular language. We're well known, we're mature, we're reliable. Basically, we've inherited all of that goodwill for years where people have just kept it. So that's what it represents to me is like if you're in a boot camp or if you're learning Node.js, one of the first things you usually get walked through is building an Express server. So we're kind of just that default entry point and then continue to be that that hammer people pick up for that same tool later into their career. So
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And then I think, so I'm the next one there, and I slightly used this wording intentionally, and now seeing other people's, I think I'm glad I did. I put Node.js, not just Express, partly because, so first, about all the defaults, like, we are in some ways, the default experience there, but also we are the default expectations in some way for anybody who writes Node.js web servers. And so really what we want to be there is in line with Node.js's expected behaviors, feature support. This is the there will be other things that do other things much better than us and things on top of it. But like the default Node.js experience here has always aligned really well with what Express tries to provide. And so I think we, being sort of the Node.js framework, or, I don't know how we'd want to, I think the old taglines were, maybe didn't even say Node.js. I don't know, but like something around like, being maybe not the big opinionated, featureful, kitchen sink of features, but having like the basic baseline Node.js experience be a best in class, across all language options and other things as well, not just a bare bones, but like actually like have the baseline feature set leveled up for all of Node.js servers, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So not just the one that you choose because it's the entry point, but also the one that you decide to keep using because it's the best.
I dropped it in chat too, but I think a good encapsulation of what Wes is like, we embody the spirit of Node.js. Like we go along with it, basically. We're very close to what Node does. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why we're popular and useful is that, as Node.js has gotten better, so is Express.
Okay.
That one's
That's it.
mine. Yeah, I mean this I think echoes a lot of what other people were saying and included the term Node.js for the same reason as Wes. And yeah, I just tried to put some emphasis on, the production aspect of this is not just a tool for writing like test demo toy apps in a tutorial you're going through, but like is capable of being, the backbone of actual real production systems. Otherwise, I'd echo everything that Wes and John said.
Okay, great. I don't know if someone wants to add something else. Otherwise, we can try to write the final vision.
I just would call out, it's pretty great that we were all fairly aligned there, I
Yeah.
think, on like we all had pretty much, one of these types of things, and they all sound pretty similar. So that's probably going to make it easier for us to write the final vision.
Let's try just to put something, even like brainstorming something if it's not the perfect one, but could become like we can take some part here and there and compose the final one. So like we can say that Express will be the default option, or is not enough.
I'd prefer if we avoided the default in the language. I know we are talking about that's part of it, but I think the coupling with Node.js is more like, I think, where we get value, because I think people already know or think of it as the default. So I don't think that's going to like be additive to any branding we would do. But I think if we talk about how we are with Node.js, I think that would then both hit the point of being sort of default, but also add on to it. Like the goal is actually to track, to be the spirit, of Node.js. So could we say something, we could like do the Express will embody the spirit of Node.js by, or something like that, maybe?
Okay. So here we have a new one to be the
I
default.
just threw it up there because I dropped it in a chat too, but
Yeah, it's
it's
great.
just,
I like it.
I mean, it says default. I am, full disclosure, I'm using ChatGPT to augment my stuff that I'm doing. That's why it looks like this. But default, yeah. We can figure out how we feel about that. I like it. It's a bold claim, and I think that's part of what a vision is supposed to be, is a bold claim. But production grade web framework for Node.js, scalable, minimal, deeply aligned. So I think one of the core parts we're highlighting here, if I had a highlighter, deeply aligned with Node's core philosophies. I think that's a big part of what we're trying to talk about. And empowering developers to build everything from quick prototypes to resilient, high-performance systems. We're there in a lot of ways, though, is the funny thing. So I don't even think our vision is big enough if we're looking at big 10-year vision, basically.
This may be something to talk about, but we could probably talk for too long on it, so I don't necessarily want to deviate. But there is something to be said for the vision being stable and not necessarily, so like, to be clear, I would not treat this like a company's vision where you need growth and you need new things and you need challenges. I think this might be all right if we are saying the vision is to be pretty similar over the next 10 years, because that is what we were in the last 10 years, and it contributed to the success that has happened in that time. So I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing if we go with something that's not necessarily like some revolutionary statement, right?
No, no.
Like,
Yeah, it doesn't has to be if it's not what the brand is. It's if Express.js is a solid, bold thing that it was like this and will be like this because it's what people want and what people need. They want you're doing greatly. That's yeah. You don't have to disrupt everything. If something is working, is working. So
So I would maybe do a tweak. And so if we wanted to move away from the to be default, we could, because again, I've done branding stuff with nonprofits and whatever, and I've always been led to like vision is knocking out of the park. Like you're not going to get there, but realistically, like where would you want to be if everything worked and you transform the world in the way that you're trying to transform the world? What is it basically? But so like instead of default, like to define how web servers are built in JavaScript. That is a hell of a swing, basically. But it's that it's not quite the default, but to like this is the standard. This is it, basically.
yeah.
I see
You
Dustin put in here too. Standard or de facto could be tweaks to it too.
Well, you could say like to be the defining production grade. Was that sort of where you're swinging at, John?
Yeah, basically like where we go, they follow.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
I'm gonna throw definitive in there. Definitive.
Okay. Everyone is happy with this definition of the vision. Of course, it can change in time. It can evolve. See it as like the thing that you want to reach in 10 years.
Yeah. Wes, what's another big swing we could take here, or Ulysses? Because missing from this would be big aspirations for sustainability via contributor base, other things like that. Like we're talking a lot about the technology, but we're not talking so much about our community, which we also have big visions for effectively.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm struggling with. We have this is already long enough to fulfill, the vision statement, completely. I mean, you don't want to go too long. So I'm wondering if maybe like there's a way to pare back this existing sentence just a bit. So like by going to this definitive language, I like that. I think maybe then we could come and because we're already kind of being redundant here by talking about resilient high performance systems and production grade and scalable at the beginning. So like probably if we can get rid of that everything after the final comma there after resilient and maybe figure out how to extend that instead with like a statement about sustainability for the long term or something, right? So that that then circles back to the having a maintainer base that can keep it stable, keep it secure or something, right? Like
I dropped a wordy sentence over there, which is while sustaining a healthy, inclusive community of contributors who shape its future together. That's like, I don't think that'll make it in, but that's, I think, the vibe.
we got lots of words.
Yeah, we have plenty
I
of
don't know
words.
how long is too long for something like this.
We just need like one or two phrases, but we can define all the thing that you need to be there, and then we can summarize it a bit. But like talking about community, if it is an important thing, we sure have to add it.
Yeah, I think it is pretty important.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
kind of
that's
what
one of the things. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Dustin.
I was going to say it's kind of what that whole second column was about. So I think it's important too, but hard to fit into just a couple words. What were you going to
Yeah.
say, Wes?
Yeah, no, you nailed it. Yeah, I mean, I really think though that's the thing why we have to. This whole thing in the first one is too tech focused. We got to delete something from it. So like, John, I don't know. Can I edit yours, or are you like? Do you want to just
Yeah.
delete?
I'm just throwing sticky notes around, basically.
Right. Could we just try at least doing the delete the high performance systems at the end?
Oh, you're talking about
Resilient, maybe even like honestly, maybe we even drop the empowering developers to build everything, the whole bit.
Where are you looking, Wes? Let me follow you on Figma.
Sorry, you.
Yeah, feel free to edit.
Sorry, you're copying multiple things. I was looking at the one that had the whole.
Wes was looking over
original.
at the cluster, basically. I'm following you on Figma now. I see what you're talking about.
Oh, I'm not. No, I'm looking at the video screen here. I'm not looking. I want to see
okay.
people's faces. I'm not looking at the Figma. I have a laptop screen right now. I'm not dual monitoring.
I'm not anymore.
So I just meant like when you copied the sticky note and scratched out the part that I mostly thought we should keep instead of the part that I had said to delete.
So yeah. I'm not gonna do it because I'm not sure what. Yeah.
Can you click in? We just get your cursor.
Yeah, maybe I should
you're
just
not
come over
looking at
here. Yeah, and just
Yeah.
do what I meant. Oh, I'm just sorry. It just means I can't see people.
careening around. It's okay. We're not making that many funny faces.
Okay, I'm gonna because I can edit. Okay, cool. So like, if we just got rid of this whole thing, now we've shortened it. So this is the tech part, right? To be the definitive production grade web framework for so this is kind of redundant again.
I like where you're going. Keep going.
Right. So I'm just trying to reorder the other parts we'd want to keep. Definitive production grade. Yeah, this sentence doesn't work quite right. Because it repeats Node.js. It would repeat Node.js too much.
Oh, no. Here we go. Aligned with the platform.
Yep, that works. But I think we could even just do like move this, the definitive production grade web framework for scalable, minimal, and deeply aligned. Oh, that autocorrect did not get the right. Oh, that does, my browser just doesn't recognize that word. Scalable, minimal, and minimal framework. Or no, that's right. That's also duplicative again. For scalable and minimal applications. This deeply aligned thing is just, it's kind of wordy. Which, because I was going to just change it to which deeply align with
Sure.
Node.js's core platform or core philosophies. How does that? Is that all right? Because then it's got the same main components, but it's like a much shorter sentence. Because then we could do a second sentence that says something about the thriving community, right?
What about that? Let's tack that bad boy on there.
Is it the applications that are supposed to be minimal or Express?
Hmm.
Or mentioned that, but
Yeah.
We're running our time out here. I'm pretty sure.
I know.
This
but
is
it's
always
good.
the hard part, in my
It's good
opinion.
if nothing else, because that first one, if we had went with it, I think was not, it missed out on some key components, and I think it would have been the wrong thing. So
Okay.
Does that help? Yes.
I'm
could we
gonna
pull over like one of your other sticky notes, and then we got to figure out why applications doesn't fit there, because it definitely doesn't.
okay. Since we're gonna run out of time, I'm gonna put a timer, and then maybe we can decide what go next. A 3 minute
Can I
timer.
ask if we don't have this, is it going to make it difficult to do the rest of the stuff for the workshop?
I mean, we have the concept of this one right now, so it's not gonna be difficult to do the rest. It's not the perfect yet, but I think that we all agree of what the vision should be. I mean, what we are talking about. You want to be the definitive framework. Node.js is important. The community is important. I think it's better to go on maybe and then come back.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. I think I agree with that. Cool.
Yeah.
That's
We can pause for now, maybe do the vision, the mission and the principle, and then come back and try again. So the mission is very similar, the exercise. Again, sorry, if you're seeing my screen, the mission is here, is the now, and is the how we're gonna reach the vision. And define how the company will achieve the vision. Of course, the guiding question is what do we do for who we're doing and how. Some examples are Spotify to unlock the potential of human creativity by giving 1 million creative artists the opportunity to live off of their art. Yeah. Amazon to be the health most customer-centric company where customer can find and discover anything they might want to buy online. The same 5 minutes, you can copy one of these and then we're going to discuss it. I'm gonna put a timer. You can start copy and paste the post-it. Okay, time's up. I'm gonna share my screen. Okay. Wait, I'm having technical problem. So again, we are gonna read them and cluster them. This time, I think we can avoid the voting. We can just start discussing them. And at the end, we have to choose a single mission. So we help developers to build plugin for Express by providing a solid and stable API that they love. I'm just gonna read them. If the people who wrote them wants to add something to elaborate, feel free to do it. Then we help contributors to become maintainers by helping them grow in many ways. Nice. Our mission is to make it easy to build web servers in Node.js by staying minimal, staying stable, and staying useful. We keep the core small, make room for creating powerful application, and support the contributors who make it work. Lovely. Our mission is to provide a stable, minimal, and flexible foundation, okay, for empowering developers to build web servers in Node.js by fostering a sustainable, inclusive community that builds and evolve Express together. Nice. We help web developers achieve their product and application goal by clearing the complicated server detail out of their way, and to provide the tools necessary to enable developers to innovate and create software without being a burden to them. So to them as they do so. Sorry, to them as they do so. To cultivate a thriving and inviting open source ecosystem that attracts and retains the participation of developer and other builders interested in the web application development. Nice. I think they are very, very similar. I'm trying to understand how we can cluster them.
Yeah, mine turned into word salads, the top right ones.
Yeah,
There's a
but they're
lot
great.
going
I think
on.
there are. I don't know if the same people wrote these two,
I
but
did.
they're. I see minimal, stable, useful, stable, minimal, flexible foundation. There are some repeating word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think similar to the last round, it sort of centered around like the tool itself and then the ecosystem itself.
Yeah.
Be common themes.
I'm happy with that grouping, but yeah, please refine. Did we start voting?
No, I think we can avoid voting since we have just two cluster and we can just discuss. And as before, it's technology and community, so I think they're both important, and we should
UI, a vote UI on the right popped up to tell me to
Can
stamp
I-
my favorites. So I was like, did
Can
I
I
miss it?
ask
Mhm.
between the mission and vision,
Mhm.
what would be the goal to differentiate the two? Like, what's the, like, is there something that would make sense in the vision but not in the mission statement?
The vision can be something that is maybe not reachable right now because we're not yet there. Like you want to become the I don't know, if I am a shoes brand, I want to become the less expensive and I don't know. I don't know. I'm too late. I'm tired. I can create stuff right now, but it's something that you achieve and that you are working on to achieve it. And it's just the lighthouse at the end that you
Yeah.
keep following it. It can change. It will change for sure because the world will change. So you will have to adapt, but you know that what you want to get there. The mission is the practical thing that you do every day to get there. So like if I want to make amazing shoes that everyone can afford, I know that I'm working on finding the best material and that can be composed very easily. But so
Cool. Because I think one of the things that I'm seeing reading these is that maybe a few of them at least have a little bit more of the vision part in it. So we might want to like make sure we are. So I like what I tried to do on mine to differentiate it there, I think is what you said. And so like, while I agree the technology parts are important, I actually think for the mission statement, they might actually be less important. Because they like the stuff here about like, again, building web servers, that's not actually, how do I phrase this? To me, it feels like that is less aligned with the mission statement than saying like, without being a burden, we provide the necessary tools. Like those two that have the thumbs up there, like are, to me felt more mission statement-y than the other ones. I guess
I
actually
like a lot
the simplest way.
I think I see Justin's name on the green one. I don't know who wrote the yellow one, but I think those two
That
are
was
very
me.
operational. Yeah, I think they're really good.
So I'm gonna just move them right here. And we can maybe discuss these two. So it's about enabling and your user goal. And just finding the keywords.
Yeah, and then reducing the burden,
An easy life.
removing the burden from them on some of these more. They're not necessary for everybody to know kind of things. So hiding that complexity away a bit from the average, web product developer.
Just adding the keyword.
Oh yeah, I'm throwing one in here too. Yeah, remove complexity. Make it easier for developers to build great software. I think that's a keeper.
Yeah, I like that.
To make it easier for developers to build great software. Clearing away, reducing the complexity, smoothing the complexity, stuff like that.
I like clean away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Sorry, I'm moving.
Yeah, you're good.
Are we
You're
happy
in
with
control.
this? Everyone likes this mission. We can, of course, change it later. It's not like written on stone right now, but we can move to the next exercise. And then maybe we can come back to the vision. Let's see how this one goes. These are the brand values. And it determine the values and the philosophy of what you want the brand to be perceived. And it also help establish the brand personality, and it will help also later with the tone of voice and visual identity. Just some examples. So the guiding question is determine a culture. What do you stand for in the world? And here you have to think about you, that you work in Express.js. What are you doing? So like Netflix, the brand principle are judgment, sorry, make wise decision, despite ambiguity. I cannot speak anymore. Seek what's the best for the company, not just for yourself. Curiosity, learn rapidly and eagerly. Innovation, create new ideas that are useful. Inclusion, embrace diverse perspective. Google, focus on the user and all else will follow. Fast is better than slow. You can be serious without a Great just isn't good enough. Or Patagonia, build the best product, use business to protect nature and not bound by convention. So here we have a common principle that I'm going to ask you to vote free of this principle, or if it's not listed here, what you think your principle should be, you can just write them here. We have 3 minutes for this one. I'm going to start the timer. And I'm going to give you a vote too. Okay, it's starting. I think everyone voted. I can stop it. Okay.
Curious to see if anyone said irrelevant.
Yeah, right.
You never know.
If
I mean,
if
I
we
almost picked
post-
popular, but I was like,
we-
sometimes we're not.
if we posted this on social media, we would definitely have gotten irrelevant. Somebody.
I also noticed that reliable was on there twice, so we might end up with split votes there.
You can merge them, yeah.
Yeah, we did.
7. So yeah, first one is well known with 3 votes.
And popular sort of is almost the same, right? So that might be the defining characteristic.
I added trusted into the sticky because I voted well known, but that's kind of what I meant too. So
Yeah.
they're
I
along
can-
similar axis.
I can move my professional to reliable. Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to pick powerful, but I was like, no, calm down, John.
Okay, so we have well known, that is similar to popular, accessible, reliable, and professional, and flexible. Do you want to try to spend 2 words each so we can then define it better on the brand guidebook? What do you mean by well known and popular?
Angela, can you maybe share the screen?
Oh, sorry. Thank you. I forgot. Okay.
For popular and well known, I mean, it's that we're always in. We have mind share. We already have people. We're part of the discussion whenever anybody thinks about choosing a web server framework.
Okay.
Like they will. We're well known. We're popular. That's where we are. We've already earned. The project has earned that over the years. You know,
Like a way to put that is people don't ask, why should I use Express? They ask, why should I use anything else?
yeah,
Nice.
Kind of related
Love
it's a
to
good place
the de
to be.
facto term we
What's
stated
that,
earlier.
Dustin?
Kind of relates to like the de facto term we settled on earlier.
Yeah.
It's just like it's almost assumed.
It's important for us in a lot of ways too, because like if we add something that sucks, like a lot of people will have to deal with it, or at least it's they will see it at least.
Mhm.
With the things we do get noticed, basically, good and bad, essentially. So it is a power essentially to be reckoned with. Reliable.
I
Think
could we also maybe group flexible and accessible? So I think I the only person who voted for accessible? I think maybe.
I voted for it as well.
Oh, you did? Okay. The way I meant it kind of is like a little bit related to flexible. So I don't know if you felt the same way.
I almost maybe felt closer to like popular in the sense that it's like very easy to jump into. But I mean, yeah, it kind of does relate to flexible. Like it's easy
yeah.
to jump.
Did you have more, Wes?
No, I was just I thought that would make it so easier so we could not talk about that one on its own. Yeah.
Yeah, I see these things as like it's low barrier to entry. It's really easy to get up and going. I like one of the most famous things in Node.js and therefore Express is like, here's the getting started. It's like 7 lines long, or like maybe not even 7 lines long, basically.
Mhm.
It is very quick and easy to get up and running. So we're flexible, we're accessible. That speaks more to accessible than probably flexible, but like we can support that. I've written servers that are like 10 lines long to do, and they've done useful things. But then you can also, within that same thing, it can scale out and get a lot bigger, basically. So
Yeah, sort of how this relates though is that by not taking a bunch of opinions all across everything, we become more accessible because there's less concepts to learn. So like when you go into, Fastify, you actually have to read their docs, like most of their docs, to make sure you understand like the feature set and how you're supposed to use it and stuff like that. And the accessibility actually partly comes from having none of that in very little of that. I shouldn't say none, but like very little of that in Express. So that's how I see sort of the low barrier means it has a small learning curve because it is completely open and flexible. We don't take opinions on like how you should, do things. I mean, sometimes that's a problem. Actually, a lot of times it is, but like that's like sort of part of the design.
Sorry, we don't take opinion. What do you mean? It's like if the community opinion on how to do things?
The framework does not enforce certain patterns the
Okay.
same way most other comparable
Okay.
softwares do.
Okay.
goes with flexible for sure. Yeah, it's
R-
you have a lot of room to screw up too if you want.
Mhm.
Basically, that's the trade-off with
Mhm.
unopinionated is people can do things the way they want to, whether it's a good idea or not, and that's a principle that we stand by, basically.
Yes. And reliable and professional. The 2 words.
Yeah, I mean, stable was one we were missing from there, but I folded it into reliable. We're stable. In terms of it wasn't on the board, is what I mean. I would have
Okay.
voted for stable. So reliable got a lot of what I was thinking for stable. So we can put
Yeah.
we're stable. The things you learned yesterday will continue to be useful tomorrow. We don't break things very often.
Yeah, and then we also are careful and considerate with how we do break things so that they're, if you're using it in a professional environment, so that, we're not going to go and release breaking changes indiscriminately that cause, companies to have to do big migrations or something. We're going to, try to make it as small of a change as possible.
You could say responsible there too. Yeah. We are considerate, we are responsible. Those are both true things.
Also, like I think Wes said earlier, if there were any major show-stopping bugs, like we would probably be aware of it very fast just based on the sheer volume of usage and things like that.
And the standard to which people expect those things to not happen.
Yes.
We got issues when debug logs weren't showing up for router, which is not production at all, but somebody was like, what the heck?
But to the point of here, we're reliable, professional, and stable. That was actually the only major miss that the team had in the process of this, which is actually honestly pretty frankly incredible. I was sure we had missed something else, and so far so good. So like the stability there was, we really did our due diligence of making sure that we had checked all the boxes, and then we even got that landed before we went latest, which is, if you look at other ecosystems of Node.js packages, that is not the case. Like it is, when a new major goes out, it's like, do not upgrade until at least the first couple patches, or you're gonna be dealing with some oddities. Yeah, right. Yep. Next has really made it easy for us to clear that bar, I think. But there's a lot of them too. There's plenty of examples that are not what you would consider, professional, reliable, stable. And I think we're like the poster child in the ecosystem of those words.
I just threw one into well-known, which is just that, I don't know if it doesn't relate directly to our core principles, I guess, but I think informs a lot of what we do, which is that most people already have formed an opinion about the project in one way or another, positive or negative. A lot of people they've encountered it 10 years ago. They have opinions about it. I don't know if that relates to our core principles so much, but I think it's part of what I think we mean when we say well-known and popular. People have ideas already about us. And so we want to not break those ideas. And also we have the opportunity to surprise them by doing something new that they weren't expecting, basically. So
Great.
we don't have to spend much time explaining what Express is to most people. We have a lot of beginners and people who come in, so we do have to explain what we do and how and why, but it's easy to operate as if everyone knows everything about us already. And so I think it's important that we note that we can't always rely on that, basically, because I know we're going to get to personas eventually, and one of them is beginners and learners. So it can be really easy to lean on that popularity and underserve people who they're like, what is middleware? Like, what even is that? Which is a core concept that, it's like water to us, essentially. Can't see it.
Cool. Let's move on. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Time left, sorry. And great work here. We're gonna maybe come back later to the vision. And now it's time for brand positioning. And proto personas are part of brand positioning, but maybe we can keep them for later because John, you told me that you already have something. I would like to do this one with you, that it's the market analysis. So we analyze the market to find opportunities. How we're going to do that? We're going to define the two extremes that we're going to put on the axis. Express will be the best on both. And then we're going to put the competitor on here. So let's discuss what the two extremes are. It can be, also looking at here. Could be reliable and something else. Performances.
I think we're supposed to make ourselves the best ones, right? With this, the way we form our
Yeah. You are here. You are the top.
So let's not put performance on there, Wes. Could we say reliability and simplicity. Those feel very related, but flexibility,
I think
simplicity.
the simplicity is probably a really good one for us to use, because if you look at the items in this, like when we move them over, like we are absolutely the simplest compared to all of those.
I don't know Rails well enough. I mean, trust. If we're really sandbagging it for ourselves, trust.
I was about to say popularity, but Fast API is quite popular because it's a different ecosystem.
Yeah.
I mean, Spring is similarly probably pretty popular. I don't know exactly how to pull data on that.
But it's not in simplicity at all.
Simplicity is good.
I like simplicity and trust. They're very great values. I mean,
can I ask? I see we've got some folks who need to drop. If we're going to pick up next week, how much longer do we have? Would it be better to maybe table this so that we have more voices?
It will be shorter next week, so, because this was the hard part, and yeah, we can move it to next week. Also, it's not a blocker. This one, I mean, it's not a blocker if we want maybe to start. Maybe we can talk about next step right now, so we can also understand if it is a blocker or not. But I don't think. And yeah, for me, it's okay to move to finish this workshop next week.
That I think might work for us best, because again, having a bit more voices, I think is great. And if we lose people, we'll then, you know, and also I think it might give us a little bit of time to go back and workshop some of the stuff we didn't have time for in Slack.
Yeah, I also am gonna share, because I share a temporary link with you, so you didn't have to create a Figma account. I'm gonna share another link that is more, is the real link, but you will have to create an account. Okay. So next step, we're gonna finish the. Also here, you can see some example of brand guideline, if you want, like the Vercel, the Rev, Cinch, finish workshop. I don't know if the meanwhile we want to start working on the documentation website from a design perspective, or if it is still too soon and we can wait to finish this brand guideline. It depends on your priority and if you have any deadline.
I don't think we do. And I would love to get Rand some time to watch this recording and maybe even have a little bit of chance to add some, you know, backfill some stuff as well. So I think maybe we can post these up into the TC channel, make sure those folks who weren't able to come today could do that. And then, you know, because we're not in a rush, then we can follow up right after next week when we finish the workshop, if that works.
Works. Sorry for my bad accent to anyone who's gonna look the recordings.
No.
Okay, great. Let me find how to. Sorry, I just have to find a way to share the link. I'm gonna send it on the chat. Let me know if it open. It should work. Cool.
Angela, I added you to a chat with Ulysses. Maybe you can send that to him, and then he can share with all the other folks.
I snagged it too. Yeah, we got it. And it works even in an incognito browser.
Cool. So see you next week. Thank you very much for the time, and it has been very nice.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thank you.
You're a very good facilitator. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I have done this workshop with other things before, and getting through the vision in one sitting, I've never seen it go this fast in my life.
It's the first, but you are very good. I think that you know the brand. Yeah, you really know the brand. It's difficult when it's when the brand is just burning. Like we have done it for Orama. It took 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've inherited a lot of